Now, for myself as a counselor, I see how important self-esteem is for everyone. And I know that in my coaching sessions, the first thing I do before we actually set standards is to build people's self-esteem. So that's how important it is. A classic example is Dr. Maxwell Maltz and how he started psycho-cybernetics, one of the most transformative programs on the planet. But he started because as a plastic surgeon, he realized even after changing people's looks, a lot of them felt, what have you done? You haven't done anything. Because their self-image hadn't changed. They couldn't see the image in the mirror being changed. And that's how powerful it is. The placebo effect is a phenomenon well known in the medical field. They can give you a chalk tablet and tell you it's going to cure your cancer, and it will if you believe in it. That's the power of self-belief. So self-image, self-belief, both these are connected or interconnected. So the self-image is the picture you have in your mind in the visual cortex. And the other part of it is in the kinesthetic part of the brain, which feels things and maps it from there. So if you know, you believe something is true, it happens, and the mind starts to produce the chemicals accordingly. One of the interesting things that I came across recently is this wonderful guy called Swapnil Shinde. He's now a wonderful gal called Saisha Shinde. Sex change operation, and he says, I was a woman, but I was living in a man's body. And why that self-image had to be played out? He said during the pandemic, he said, I just couldn't take this anymore. I couldn't be a woman inside and be a man outside. He's a man actually, Swapnil Shinde, but he becomes Saisha Shinde, did the operation and everything, and looks so gorgeous today. I wish people understood that part of it. That is self-image. That's how important it is. So does it matter? Of course it does. And today in the course of the discussion, I'm going to bring this out in my own way as a counselor, as a psychologist. Venkat, would you like to add your view on this, on self-image, and how does it matter?
Absolutely, Yayan. I think self-image, as Chahat also mentioned, is absolutely critical. There's no second thought on that. But again, self-image is something which is transient in nature. It may not be the same as you move forward in life. Like if I have to take my example, it was quite different when I actually passed out of my 10th, when I got much lesser than what I anticipated. My self-image was actually very low, or you could call it self-esteem as well, right? Because self-image, I believe, is how we think others see us, whereas self-esteem is how we feel about ourselves. So I see that slightly different, right? So it's about, most often, self-image is about how we think others see us, and we sort of build a story around it. And over a period of time, as we keep repeating in our mind, it becomes a reality, right? And it could be nothing to do with the actual thing that you are, right? It could be something which was mentioned to you directly, or it could be indirectly as well. Now, one classic example that we go through in childhood, especially if you have a sibling or so, is somebody can just walk into the house and say, you know what, you could call out the sibling and say, she's very smart, right? There was nothing told about you, but at that moment, you could have created a story in your mind saying that I'm probably not good. And it sort of stays with you. And I think that's over a period of time, you realize it. And that's where I think a coach or a tribe like Tilt really helps. And I could take a very recent incident as well. While people might think, I always believed that people around me actually felt that I could do a lot better than what I thought about myself. People had a high view about me than what I had about myself. Until I met Ian a couple of weeks back, me and actually Vidya had a chance to meet Ian. And that's where the entire thing transformed. Right? So it's not about knowing. I think it's a knowing-doing gap. So Ian actually helped fill that. So it is possible to change. I think there was a question as well. But you need that sense of direction, as Ian also mentioned earlier. If you actually help somebody else retune that or rewire it, I think it is absolutely possible to change it. And it's no doubt it's absolutely critical.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Venkat. And I'm so glad that we have this, the multiple dimensions that we are playing with here. One as a panelist, the other one as I'm the coach and you're the coachee. But in your own positioning now on NASSCOM, you're one of the leaders who's been looked up at. A lot of people are role modeling you there. There's so much that is happening back end. But see, all this happens because we meet like-minded people, or we meet a coach or a mentor, and things change. So whoever you thought you were, if somebody else gives you another viewpoint and you believe that person, your self-belief starts to change and the brain starts to rewire itself.